Hey there, mamas. Let's have a really honest conversation for a second. Are you a new mom? Are you breastfeeding? And are you absolutely exhausted from Googling every single thing you put in your mouth, wondering, is this going to hurt my baby? I see you. I've been there. The fear is real. The lists of don't eat this are a mile long. But what if I told you that some of the biggest food rules you're following are not only unnecessary, but they might actually be harming your own health and stealing the joy from your postpartum journey? What if the very foods you're avoiding are the ones your body is crying out for? Today, we are dismantling 5 of the biggest, most persistent myths about breastfeeding and diet. We're going to replace fear with facts and anxiety with confidence. Because motherhood is hard enough without adding food fear to the mix. You are doing an incredible job, and my goal today is to make your life a little bit easier and a whole lot more delicious. So let us start with a food that's on almost every no list: eggs. How many times have you heard, "Oh, be careful with eggs, they're a common allergen"? It's advice given with the best intentions, but it's fundamentally flawed for most of us. Here's the truth: unless your baby has a medically diagnosed egg allergy, avoiding eggs is like throwing away liquid gold. Eggs are one of nature's most perfect foods, especially for a postpartum, milk-making body. First, let's talk about choline. This is a powerhouse nutrient, absolutely critical for your baby's brain and spinal cord development. And guess what? Eggs are one of the richest sources of choline you can find. When you eat eggs, that choline passes through your breast milk directly to your baby, supporting their cognitive growth. By avoiding eggs out of fear, you could be missing a massive opportunity to boost your baby's brain building blocks. And it's not just about the baby. What about you? You are recovering from a monumental physical event. Your body needs to heal, and you need sustained energy to produce milk around the clock. Eggs are packed with high-quality protein. This protein is essential for maintaining your muscle mass, repairing tissues, and, importantly, enriching the quality of your breast milk. A diet low in protein can leave you feeling depleted and can affect your milk supply. So, a simple omelet in the morning isn't just a quick meal, it's a strategic move for your recovery and your baby's nutrition. The default should be to include them, not exclude them. All right, let's move on to food number 2, the one that makes everyone nervous: spicy foods. The advice usually sounds something like this: don't eat that curry, it'll upset the baby's tummy. Or spicy food will make your milk spicy and the baby will reject it. This myth is so widespread, but it's time to add a little flavor back into your life. Here's how it actually works. The flavorful compounds in foods like garlic, chili, and other spices do pass into your breast milk, but not in a way that causes harm. They subtly change the flavor profile of your milk. And this is not a bad thing, it's a wonderful thing. Think of it as your baby's first culinary adventure. From the safety and comfort of nursing, they get to experience a tiny hint of the flavors from your diet. Far from creating a fussy baby, research suggests this early exposure to varied flavors can lead to a more adventurous eater later on. Babies who experience a variety of tastes through breast milk may be less likely to become picky eaters when they start solids. They're already familiar with a world beyond bland. So, that spicy salsa or flavorful Thai green curry isn't a risk, it's an educational experience for your baby's palate. Your milk is teaching them about the food your family loves. Of course, if you eat something exceptionally spicy and notice your baby is genuinely unhappy afterward, you can dial it back. But the idea of a blanket ban on all things spicy is robbing you and your baby of a rich sensory experience. Okay, on to the big one. The one that causes the most confusion and stress for nursing moms: dairy. I'm sure you've heard it. If your baby is gassy, fussy, or has strange-looking poops, the first thing everyone says is, cut out dairy. This has become such a knee-jerk reaction in our culture. But let's look at the science. A true cow's milk protein intolerance, or CMPI, is actually not that common. The data shows it affects only about 2 to 3% of exclusively breastfed babies. That means for the other 97% of moms, cutting out dairy is completely unnecessary. It creates a huge amount of stress, label reading, and dietary restriction for no reason at all. And here's the hidden danger: the loss aversion I mentioned earlier. What do you lose by unnecessarily cutting out an entire food group? Calcium. And vitamin D. And protein. Dairy products are a convenient and rich source of the calcium you need to replenish your own stores after pregnancy and to fortify your breast milk. When you eliminate dairy without a confirmed medical reason and without a careful plan to replace those nutrients, you are putting your own bone health at risk. You are depleting your body at a time when it is already giving so much. So before you ditch the yogurt and cheese, please talk to a healthcare professional or a lactation consultant to see if it's truly necessary. Don't let fear-based advice deplete your own vital nutrient stores. Let's talk about food number 4, cruciferous vegetables. This means broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. The myth: if it gives you gas, it will give your baby gas. This one sounds logical on the surface, but it demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of how digestion and milk production work. The gas you might experience after eating broccoli is produced in your large intestine. It's caused by the fermentation of fiber by your gut bacteria. Here's the key: that gas, the actual air bubbles, cannot and does not pass into your bloodstream. And if it's not in your bloodstream, it cannot get into your breast milk. It's physiologically impossible for the gas in your gut to travel into your milk. So, your baby isn't getting gassy from your broccoli-induced gas. What your baby is getting are all the incredible nutrients from those vegetables, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. These are nutritional powerhouses that support your health and enrich your milk. Fooziness and gas in young babies are extremely common for a variety of reasons, most often related to their own immature digestive systems, swallowing air during feedings, or other factors. Blaming your healthy dinner is usually a red herring. Don't deny your body these amazing vegetables based on a biological impossibility. Finally, let's tackle the one every tired mom wants to know about: coffee. The fear of caffeine is huge. You'll have a baby who never sleeps, is the common warning. And while an excessive amount of caffeine isn't a good idea, the idea that you have to give up coffee entirely is, for most, untrue. The science is reassuring. Leading health organizations state that a moderate intake of caffeine, generally considered to be around 200 to 300 milligrams per day, is perfectly safe for most nursing mothers and babies. That's equivalent to about 2 to 3 small cups of coffee. Only a very small fraction of the caffeine you consume, about 1%, actually makes it into your breast milk. The key is not just how much you drink, but when you drink it. Caffeine levels in your milk typically peak about 1 to 2 hours after you have your coffee. So, a great strategy is to have your cup of coffee right after you've finished a nursing session. This gives your body the maximum amount of time to process the caffeine before the next feeding. For a brand new, sensitive newborn, you might want to be more cautious. But for most babies, a morning cup of coffee isn't going to cause any issues. It can be a tool that helps you feel more human and function better during those demanding early days. It's about moderation and timing, not total avoidance. So let's recap. We've been told to fear eggs, spicy foods, dairy, broccoli, and coffee. But science tells us that for the vast majority of moms, these foods are not only safe, they are beneficial. They support your recovery, enrich your milk, and expand your baby's palate. These fear-based food rules do more than just limit your diet. They steal your confidence. They make you second-guess yourself at every meal. They add a layer of anxiety to an already challenging time. My mission is to give you back that confidence, to empower you with evidence-based information so you can nourish your body and your baby without fear. Motherhood should be a time of joy and bonding, not a time of dietary restriction and anxiety. Please remember, this video is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you suspect your baby has a true allergy or intolerance, please consult with your pediatrician or a registered dietitian who specializes in lactation. If this video helped you feel even a little more confident, please hit that like button and subscribe for more myth-busting content that supports you on your motherhood journey. Share this with a new mom who needs to hear it. Let's build a community of confident, well-nourished mothers together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.